This fucking guy here. All right, let's go.
Let's go. I actually got big breaking news today, but I
Oh,
feel like,
great. You've been like incommunicado for a week, and we're going to talk about something that just happened. I cannot wait.
well, this
Current events.
honestly, this just
What
this
did
just
would you
happened
buy a new
that
pair of socks or something?
came out of left field today.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I feel like I don't know if I should just I'm gonna lead into it. So you got anything before I start because there's gonna be a little pre-story going into this and
Yeah,
such.
I had an emergency last night at 2 in the morning.
What?
I sprung up off my couch, totally hit with the urge to shit myself.
Right?
I start running to the bathroom and realize running is going to be the wrong move here. So I start
Right.
kind of slowly walking. And then I realize I don't have enough time to slowly walk. So I start running again. And I could feel something back there. Just, it's not, there's no stopping this. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what happened. Just out of the blue. Like, I'm like 2 in the morning watching TV in the living room,
Right.
and it just no gurgling, no fucking like stomach
Like it
cramps.
just went. It went straight from pipes to ass.
It went from 0 to 1,000 in like the blink of an eye.
Really?
I'm
Huh.
running and I'm like, oh my god, I'm just praying the toilet seat is down already. And as I'm like getting to the bathroom, I can feel it. It's coming, and I start farting, and and it's all wet back there, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to shit my pants. I like get my pants down, and as I'm heading down to the seat, it just starts.
Wait, did you miss the
It
toilet hole?
starts ripping. It starts ripping, and I'm like, God, I hope I had it over the hole. So I'm sitting, leaning forward a little bit because I don't know what
Right,
I
just in case.
I don't know what's going on behind me at all because it's just like everything came flying
Right,
out.
right.
Liquid, solid, gas, all three came flying out at once.
So wait, so what was the end result?
So I'm leaning, I'm sitting forward, and I'm like trying to wait for a reprieve so I can stand back up and look at
Right.
what the damage is. And I just keep shitting and shitting, like I don't know what happened. I just like it's I don't know what happened. This was the most
Came out of nowhere.
unstoppable, uncontrollable force of nature I've ever faced in my life. This is worse
Right.
than like dealing with a hurricane or a fucking This was the biggest natural disaster I've ever encountered in my life.
Oh,
So I'm like, oh my god, please no, no, no. I get up. I've shot all over the back half of the seat, all on the
oh,
upper inner rim area, and all along like the back side of the toilet on the inside.
oh
And
my
just
God.
like someone like a shotgun victim up against a wall.
I mean, look, that's happened to the best of us, so I'm not gonna
This
hate
is
on you.
and now it's happened to the worst of us, my friend. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm not done going to the bathroom, but I'm like, I can't, like I can't leave that like that. And I'm like, now I have the power to
Right,
like hold off whatever else is coming long enough to like I didn't know where to go first. Do I clean myself up first? Do I
right,
clean
right,
the toilet? It was like I'm there like I did like the bare minimum to be able to sit back down and not like
right.
and so then, then afterwards, at 2 in the morning, I'm in the bathroom with a scrub brush, like fucking cleaning my bathroom.
Oh my God.
It was a nightmare.
I'm so glad. I am so glad that happened to you.
I don't know what I don't know what I ate.
What'd you eat though? What'd
I
you
don't
eat?
know. I don't know. I haven't been eating anything bad. I've been like trying to diet, so there's nothing exotic there. There's no crazy.
You didn't have like Taco Bell or
No,
no?
no, man. I'm cooking my own food. I'm just like,
Really?
yeah. I
Man,
don't.
you know what? Maybe HelloFresh caught on, and they're like, "Let's
No, no,
poison this
no.
guy's next
No, I
fucking
mean, I haven't
round."
even been cooking those. I'm like diet, man. I'm not eating that shit either. So I'm cooking
Yeah.
my own food. So yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe it was a bad scrambled egg in there or something.
Oh, I'm so glad that happened to you. I'm so glad. Well,
Why?
because I like when you shit yourself. And any story
I
where
mean,
you have agony or pain, it's always good for us.
that's
So
fit.
it's good for, you know what? Listen, it's good for TV.
That's
It's
good
good
for
for
TV.
TV.
God forbid we were on TV with our schedule.
Yeah.
We'd be
Uh,
canceled in a week.
so I'm gonna do a little lead in here and I'll finish with the big finish.
Hmm.
So everybody, if you don't know, my son plays basketball, and we're gonna take a little tour here through it. So he plays high school basketball. He'll be a senior next year. Um, sometimes he's Nicky no buckets, sometimes he's Nicky slam buckets, sometimes he just plain sucks. And I yell at him because he's horrible, but he plays basketball, and I'm a very vocal fan. We've talked about it numerous times. Fan, parent. Uh, I've been ejected out of games since we've been doing this podcast. I've been warned. I've been threatened to be arrested. I mean, you name it. I'm that guy. I scream, I yell, I tell the refs they suck, yada yada yada. And the last 3 years, it's been tough. The school is just. I mean, they suck. They suck at basketball. They suck at sports in general. The Greg DeHeimer Valentine, athletic director, she finally retired, so we don't have to deal with her anymore. Thank God.
She looked like
But
Greg the Hammer Valentine, is what you're saying.
oh, she did. Yeah,
Can
just
we?
look up look up Greg the Hammer Valentine PE teacher meme. You'll get what I'm talking about.
Greg the Hammer, actually, and it's funny, Greg the Hammer Valentine looks like
Right.
a very unhandsome woman.
Very unhandsome
Doesn't he?
woman.
Like with that hairdo and
Right.
everything? Doesn't he look like the granite jawed, dyke haircut,
Yes.
squinty face,
Oh yeah, yeah.
big flat, square headed kind of,
Right.
stereotypical
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Woman. Ugly PE teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
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 Yes.
So
Definitely you would definitely think PE teacher. Definitely.
100%. Right. Athletic director, PE teacher, something in those
Mm-hmm.
in that area. So anyway, so she's retired, and but it's been really rough. We've had 3 coaches in 3 years, but now he got a 4th coach,
Oh,
so
he's
we're
like-
now at 4 coaches in
He's
4
like
years.
Tua.
Right. So he's got 4 coaches in 4 years now. So we're going into next year with a new coach again. But this guy was an assistant coach, so new head coach, but he's been on the staff. Anyway, he's going to be a senior year, big year. Last year playing high school sports, it's a big deal. And so they had some off-season workouts. They played some games, and he played last weekend. And I've kind of like the summer league. I stopped going to his games. I went to a couple, and then he got mad because he played bad. Told me it was my fault. So I said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not coming anymore. So I didn't go to
You're the mush.
What's that?
You crept.
I'm the mush, apparently.
Crept in his head.
It's because yes, exactly. Because he knows I'm there, and he knows I'm going to yell at him if he sucks. So he sucks. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I'd be better, so I didn't get yelled at, for sucking. Don't judge my parenting, sporting skills. So anyway, I stopped going to the games this summer.
No.
This the end of the year. I stopped going, and they were in high school.
Sports parenting would be much better if more parents actually told their kids they sucked.
Right. So this wasn't high school. This was an after, he was playing in some league. I didn't go to the games, and then now high school, they've started doing workouts. They can work out up until August, then they have to stop until the season starts. So they had games. I didn't go last week. I dropped them off. I said, I'm not even going to come and watch. You're on your own. Well, he scored 16 points the first game, 0 points the second game, and then the third game, he only played 2 minutes because they let all the underclassmen play. He hit a 3 to start the game. They took him out. They took out all the seniors. And then this past weekend, none of the seniors played. Only the underclassmen played. So all 5 seniors all sat out for the game. They wanted to see what the kids can do. Makes sense. Anyway, he tells me today, we got a booster club meeting. You got to be there at 5 o'clock. And I said, what? How do you tell me the day of? You didn't know about this? He's like, well, they told me I practiced this morning. So 5 o'clock, you gotta be at the school. I'm like, oh, okay.
How many
So I
parents?
get there.
How many parents actually made it? Like that? What
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you. So I get
with
there.
that last
I'm
minute
late.
shit? Yeah.
I'm 5 minutes late. It's just my nature. So I get there, I'm late, and I get in, and it's like kind of like a horseshoe table. So you got like a horseshoe table, but at the head of the horseshoe is one desk. And it is a mixed meeting between the boys basketball team and the girls basketball team. So you got both parents there. So there's about 15 people there, only 4 from the boys team, the rest are from the girls team. And you got the boys head coach varsity and the girls varsity head coach. Now the girls varsity head coach is running it because the boys head coach, he just got hired. He was an assistant. My Siri thinks I'm talking to it. So we're in this like horseshoe. So I sit down and the meeting starts and I'm quiet at first. I'm like, I'm gonna try my hardest. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna listen. And then if I gotta interject, I'll interject. This guy is fucking yapping away, the girls coach. I mean, like, just he's not even letting the boys coach talk. So he goes through this whole spiel. We have to have a booster club, and you got to have, presidents and vice presidents and secretaries and treasuries, and he's naming. There's 5 committees, and there's fucking all. It's so much. There's so many rules to the state of Georgia basketball. So eventually, he stops and he says, "Any questions?" Dead silent. Dead silent in the room.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Did I miss how many people were there?
15.
Okay.
4 from the boys, me plus 1 dad, 2 moms, and then the rest were all from the girls team. But we're one booster club. We're one club, so we're gonna be one club. We don't have this is the first time we have a booster club. So I speak up. I said I got some questions since nobody else has any. Everybody turns around and looks at me. Right? I said first question: transportation. Last year, there's no buses. I said, I don't care about the transportation part, but the kids, a team should be together, going to a game and going home from a game. Part of sports in high school, that's how I was, that's how my teams were. Well, another mom says, you know what, he's right. But my daughter's a senior too, and like just like his son, and they're going to be seniors, and it's a camaraderie thing, not about who's driving to the game or they can drive their own cars, or it's a camaraderie thing, 100%. Part of fucking sports, right? And the team travels together, they leave together, whatever. So he gives me a bullshit response. There's no bus drivers, blah, 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 blah. One of the moms turns around and goes, I think it's time for you to get your bus driver license. I'm like, me? She's like, yeah. I was like, I'm not getting my license. I'm not driving no kids nowhere. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. So now for the next 2-3 minutes, they're all trying to sell me to get my bus driver license so that I can be the team bus driver to the games. Like, they're pitching it at me. Like, we get paid. I was like, I'm not being the fucking bus driver. Like, I don't know who you think I am. Like, this guy is not driving a bus. Like, you're out of your mind. No way. So I said, let's move on to the next topic.
Like a school bus?
Yes, they wanted me to. They were dead serious. They were looking it up. You just got to take a course. You can get your school. You can be a school bus driver. I was like, I'm not driving a school bus. Like, it's not happening. Like, I'm not that guy. I mean, one lady was like, I'll send you the website. I was like, no. I don't think you understand. This is not happening. This isn't. I'm not like joking. I'm literally not going to drive a school bus. Like, I'm not getting the license because there's no bus drivers. So anyway,
Like if
we go to
you've got the website, you go learn how to do it.
right. I'm like, and she's like, oh, it's easy. I was like, well, then you drive it. So anyway, let's move on to the next topic.
It's so easy to volunteer other people. Nobody ever wants to raise their own hand. You know?
Right. And the one lady's over there with her notepad. She's writing stuff. I'm like, who is she? Come on. Who brings a notepad to this? So
well, why didn't you bring your father's fucking notes? His folders.
Listen, we're gonna get there. Hold on. So next topic. Any other questions? Dead silent. I said, I got another one. One of the moms turns around and goes, God, I missed you. I said, she's like, it's been a long couple months, no basketball. Like because you're so outspoken. I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to. I said, I got another question. What's your question? How come the other team brings cheerleaders to our games at our court, but our cheerleaders don't come to our own games at our own court? Well, the cheerleaders, they don't have enough, and they've actually already told us they will not participate in basketball next year. So I said, well, I think that's bullshit. And everybody's like, oh, he's like, oh, the language. I'm like, oh, I'm just saying. Bullshit. Bullshit. Like, what school have you ever been to that doesn't have cheerleaders that go to sports? Like, get out of here. So
What are
now
they? What
everybody's
are they?
starting to
What
feel,
are they cheerleaders for then?
yeah. So
Just the football games?
that's it.
Oh well,
So
I guess that's enough. They don't have to be. I don't know, man. I thought that was
basketball is cheerleaders.
like a clout position in the hierarchy of
Right.
high school. It's like the more opportunities to wear the fucking outfit because there's a game that night, and
Right.
basketball, it's a whole nother sport, a whole different season. It's a whole extra part of the year to
Oh,
fucking to be showing off that you're within the cool cat cheerleader
come
club.
on already.
Jesus.
So
People
so
don't get
now
it.
everybody's starting to agree with me a little bit. Oh, hey, he's right. Anthony's right, and they're like, now they're starting to back me up. So I got a little fire. But now we're starting to pepper this guy. like it was me just asking questions. Now it's turning into him. Every question now is becoming 5 to 10 minutes of everybody just jumping on what I said to pepper him. He doesn't have answers to anything. He's just going da 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 da. So it quiets down, and all right, anybody else? I said, I got another question. Everybody starts laughing. And you see this guy rolls his eyes. He's like, oh, Jesus. So I said, uh, it comes to students coming to the games, how are we going to drive students to come to the games? Because we did a really bad job of it last year. Like most wins in school history for boys basketball, second most wins for girls basketball last year, and no fans come to the games. And he says, well, what do you think the issue is? I said, well, it was the athletic director, but she's gone now, thank God. And everybody started laughing. And he's like, all right, let's not take shots. She's no longer here. I was like, well, she didn't die. She just sucked at her job. And everybody's like dying laughing. I'm sitting, by the way, I decided to not sit in the horseshoe. I am sitting on the table with my feet on the chair. We're in the library. I'm sitting on the table behind the horseshoe with my feet on a chair, just shouting out questions. So I'm behind everybody. So everybody has to turn around every time I talk if they're in the back part of the horseshoe. Because I wasn't joining the horseshoe. I felt like you can't join the horseshoe, then you just blend in with everybody else. So I asked the question about that. So he answered the question, but in answering the question, he says, well, we have to get the support of administration. I said, well, I got a follow-up question. Our principal, he doesn't even come to the games. The administration doesn't care about basketball. He's like, well, we're the lowest on the totem pole. I'm like, well, why don't we change that? Like, I don't understand why we continue to be like this. And now everybody's peppering him again, 5 to 10 minutes. All right, the guy has no clue. And the boys' coach is literally keeping quiet because he's like, I'm not getting in the crossfires of this one.
And
And he's new.
he probably agrees with a lot of it. And can you imagine if they had put this invite out sooner, and like more people
Oh,
from the
God.
men's basketball that know
Right.
you, like
Right.
had come to this thing, the guy would have been
Right,
destroyed.
right. Right. So he's already destroyed. Like he's sweating, his face is red. uh, he he gets up at one point. He's like, I gotta stand up. Like he was all disoriented. So I like, so he's like, he goes into the discussion there, and then he's like, all right. So I said, look, I got more, and everybody's like clapping. They're like, oh, like. So I said, I just have a lot of questions. I said, 3 years my son went here, and I feel like he went backwards in basketball because of the program. And I said, I know we can't change that, but like all we're doing is talking about like things that like, oh well, we're gonna do this and that, or we could do this and that. I'm like, we need to do all this stuff. And I know my kid won't be going here after next year, but like, don't you guys want to start like a legacy, like a program, like and everybody's like, yeah, that's how my high school was. I'm like, yeah. And everybody's like chiming in, and he's literally like, no clue what he's saying. He's fucking stuttering left and right. So we get through all that stuff. And he's talking about some fundraiser stuff, and they're like, well, what can we do? I raised my hand. I didn't even speak up. I literally, in my head, I said, I'm going to raise my hand this time. I raised my hand. So he has to physically call on me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Mr. Genetti? So, like, because I was like, I felt like I was speaking up too much. So I raised my hand. So he calls on me, and I said, well, my dad was president of my high school, my brother's. He was the president of the Booster Club. He literally has a book on this stuff. Like, I'm going to see him in a couple weeks. I'm going to get the book. We need the book. And I said, my dad's been known to raise $50,000 in no time. Like, you know, and they're like, well, you know, the goal is to raise like, you know, maybe 15,000 and then every parent has to pay 400. I go, no. When my dad runs it, you know, when he did it, nobody's paying anything out of pocket. Like, there's no such thing. Like,
Right.
we're paying, you know, we're paying, you know, for everything through the Booster Club. And, you know, they just got accepted today. We're now a Nike school, so Nike will be our sponsor next year. But Nike being a sponsor means nothing because you get 40% off. You still have to pay the other
Right.
60% of the jerseys. So I'm like, what good is that? You know, but it's like, oh, because we're Nike. I was like, well, if you're 2-12, does it matter what jersey you're wearing? Like, you know, or if there's nobody there to see it. So anyway, they start going over what are some of the things you could, you know, your dad would do. I said, well, I can't give away all the secrets right away, but I said, you know, he ran a wrestling show. They're like, wrestling show? None of them know anything. Like that group of people were like, except for the one lady, she starts laughing. I said, well, I used to be a pro wrestler. I said, we run a wrestling show in the gym, sell tickets, the students come, we involve a coach, we make the money goes to the basketball team. He's like, nobody's ever done that. We're just used to doing a text-a-thon. I said, what? Yeah, we get people to text money in. And I said, what do they get for it? He said, nothing. I said, so you're asking people to send you money and they get nothing in return? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. We're going to raise like $3. Like, who's going to give money away for free and get nothing back for it? Like, that doesn't happen. So, talking about that, I said, there's some things my dad used to paint. Like, you buy when my school was the Lions, so a paw. You bought a paw. A paw was $50, and the paw was pre-outlined leading up to the stadium, and you got to write in the paw, like, you know, good luck to whatever player, or, you know, class of 99, or whatever you wanted in the paw, right? And you paid $50. Well, my dad sold like 300 paws. That one morning, the whole football team had to go out and paint fucking paws. You know, but he raised the money. It was, you know, you got something for the money. So they think the wrestling show is great. I don't even know how I would pull that off, honestly. Like, honestly, after I said it, I was like, I should have never said that because there's no way I can pull this off. There's no way. No way. I just don't have it in me. So I give him some other ideas, car wash, you know, the coupon books where your people buy the coupon book and there's like, you know, coupons in there for, you know, maybe you get a couple bucks off a pizza place or like a free donut with a coffee from Dunkin', whatever it may be.
Right.
This is all, they're all looking at me like it's foreign to them. And I'm like, this is like
high school athletics 101.
101. Right? Like, what? And so they're all blown like, hey, like what? You know, well, you just can't have people text us to give us money. I was like, I'm not texting to give you money for free. Like, why?
If the end of this story is you're now the athletic director of the school, I'm gonna fall out of my chair.
Just listen. So anyway, we go through this whole thing, and then so we get all that done, and then the next topic, he says he makes a comment that, you know, I really want to have a stats committee too. People could write the stats down. He goes, but the problem is our town and our town newspaper, our county newspaper, there's no sports section. I've never read a newspaper since I've lived here in 3 years. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, the sports writer retired 2 years ago, and they can't find somebody to write the sports section, so they did away with the entire sports section of the newspaper.
That's like,
I'm like,
that's like 2/3 of the reason for buying a paper.
Right. Is that not mind-blowing to you?
Living down here and having being in a major metropolitan area, that's crazy.
Mind-blowing. Right. Like, imagine no Jim Barcelona. Come on. We would be dead for the last 20 years.
It's not even like there's no sports section. Like, our sports section even covers professional wrestling and
wrestling. Right. Right. There, highlight I've seen in the sports section.
Yeah.
There is no sports section because there's no sports writer.
They've covered shit like roller derby before.
Yeah, horse racing when they used to have it down there.
Yeah,
the dog track,
the Calder and Flagler, and
So now I have a sports. I was like, whoa, what? Like, this is mind blowing. Like I in disbelief. There is no sports section. They're like, no, like the paper did away with it when the guy retired.
As
So
as surprised as you are, there's no sports section. The rest of the people in there are surprised that you've never fucking read the newspaper.
right, right? They're like, how did this guy not know in 3 years? Right, right. Well, the funny thing is through this whole conversation, we talked about jerseys, we talked about signs, but every time we got to a subject about, well, where did you order them last year? His response was, oh, that guy retired. So eventually, when we got to the sports thing, he said that. I said, how many people in this town retired in the last 2 years? He's like, well, the guy who made our banners, the guy who made our jerseys, the sports writer, and the guy who made the signs like with the players' names on them. I said, how did everybody retire in 1 year? He goes, well, all four of them have been doing it for like 50 years. I'm like, mind blown. But wait, I'm like, so wait, nobody else in town does this? He's like, no.
None of these guys.
What the fuck?
None of these guys passed the baton to someone else.
No, they just quit and gave up. Like, moved on.
Like you put 50 years into something, supporting a school.
Right.
You don't. Then you're like, fuck them. Like 50
Right.
after doing it for 50 years, you're like, fuck them. You're not like, oh, I got to make sure someone else keeps doing this that I've made sure I do for 50 years.
Right.
What a fucking
like,
what a bunch of huckleberries.
so and I'm on this table, like, I literally have my hand on my forehead rubbing and going, this is unbelievable to me. And now, one lady in the whole place, she was popping for me every time. And I knew she wasn't from here. I go, no, I know. So I was, I'll wait till after the meeting. I'm going to ask her. So anyway, the meeting's still going on, and he's like, all these people retired, there's no sports writer. So I said, what about social media? Social media, big thing now. Everything goes through social media. I said, why don't we we have no social media presence. College coaches look at that now because recruiting isn't the same anymore. They don't come out to schools to recruit anymore. That's like, it's old school. It's pre-COVID. Now everything's online. So if you don't have a Twitter page, because every college coach uses Twitter to put these kids over, no college is going to know. You know what I'm saying?
Right, they look at kids' highlight reels on YouTube and shit.
Right,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
Well, a guy in the corner who I met last year he hasn't said a word the whole thing, says, wait a second. You only got social media? And I looked over and saw him. It's my friend, DJ, or Derek Harper Jr. Not the Derek Harper that played in the NBA.
Yeah.
This guy is a entrepreneur Mongol. Like, he owns multiple businesses. He has 1 million followers on Facebook. He has 600,000 on Instagram. I met him last year because we started talking about social media. And it's funny because he goes, today he said to me after, he said, I got 1 million on Facebook, over 500,000 on Instagram. I got 3 fucking followers on TikTok. I said, he goes, how the hell you got 300,000? I said, yeah, but my problem is I don't have followers on the other platforms. He goes, you teach me, I'll teach you. He says, I need a presence on TikTok and I cannot figure it out. He said, so let's help each other. I said, oh, cool. But he speaks up and says, I have 300 employees who work for me. I have an entire social media department. Let me run the social media for this basketball. No, you can't do it. It has to be run by the school, policy, blah, blah, blah. He's going on and on. Okay, whatever. We're going to turn down this guy who has,
He should just do it anyways. Anyway. He should just make accounts. And
so do you know what he said?
Yeah. What?
You're good. He said, well, I'm going to create a fan account. What can you do then? The guy said, well, nothing. He said, well, there you go. So he's going to make a fan account, and it's going to say the unofficial Ola High School basketball fan account.
Even if it says the real. Like they're not doing a good job. We're the real one,
Right.
And that way everyone thinks that, it's the official one anyway.
He's going to do it.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm taking my team.
What's the school going to do if he, pretends his is the real one?
Right. What are they going to do? They won't even know. So here's the good part. So it gets down to it, and he's like, well, to have an official booster club with the State of Georgia Athletic Commission, we have to have a board. everyone turns to me. I said, what? They're like, you're the president. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm not the president. They're like, you got to be. I said, I can't. I don't have time. I don't have time to be the president.
How are they
They're like, you
staffing?
got to be the
How are
president.
they staffing a a booster club when no one's there? You said there's 4 parents from the men's basketball team there. How many
and
fucking
11
parents
from the
should there
girls.
be? How many parents should there be?
Oh, you're talking? There's 3. There's a freshman, a JV, and a varsity boys team, and there's a JV and a varsity girls team. You're talking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50, 60 people?
Yeah.
Should have been there?
Yeah. So they're trying to staff this thing tonight?
They had to, because if they don't, you have to have it staffed by July 1st, and it goes till November 15th or something. Then November 15th, you can have a vote. But to start a booster program, you have to have somebody in place now.
So did you call this guy out for bumble-dicking around and not realizing the deadline and then calling something a meeting at night and letting everyone know the same morning?
He didn't wait. He's like, oh, I just found out. So anyway,
just found out.
You are now talking to the president of the basketball booster club. But my thing was, I said, I don't know if I can do this. So one of the moms from the girls basketball team, her daughter's a senior and is a rising star. They actually call it that. She is like 2-sport athlete, college is like, I mean, she's going to play. We're going to see this girl somewhere on TV one day, either swimming or playing basketball. Like, she's that good.
Not bloody likely. Not bloody likely I will.
No, but
I've never seen a women's basketball game or women's swim meet.
Blake will tell us about
it
Blake will tell us. The way.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
He'll probably be calling it.
So, I was about to say it'll probably be the big job he gets as the women's NBA. Anyway, so she said, can we be co-presidents? Like, she's like, yeah. Anthony will be the president, and I am going to basically work under him and help him. And they said yes. So me and now are president and co-president. So, but I'm the official. Like, I have the title. Like, you know. So once he gave me the title, I was like, oh, this guy's in for some shit. And everybody was like, man, we're so glad because you're not afraid of him. I'm like, who the fuck would I be afraid of anybody here for? They're like, do you know how pissed the school's going to be when they find out you're the president? I was like, oh, I know, my friend. Like, they're going to be livid when that cop or that. And I'm like, oh, president of the booster club. Step back, relax. So everybody else is a vice president, I got a treasurer, a secretary. So I'm the president. I'm telling you right now, in over my head. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
But nobody else does anyway either. So,
right?
Did you call Joe to FedEx those fucking notebooks over?
I called him immediately. I got a call. I said, Dad, I got to tell you something. He said, what's wrong? I said, following your footsteps. I'm now the president of the booster club. He's like, oh, right. He's like so excited. He's like, yes. He's like, I'll get the notebooks together because I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks. I'll get everything together. We'll sit down. We'll have a little meeting. I said, oh, what are you going to be like he's like, he's going to be he said, I'll be the silent president from Charlotte.
He's the man.
They'll call him the favors.
He's the real man, the man behind the curtain. Right. He's the real one.
Right. He is. He's like the Godfather. I'm just, he's running the show. I'm just, I'm on the ground.
You're absolutely a puppet.
Oh yeah. He was so excited because he feels like it's rejuvenating his booster club presidential career.
And you're going to look like the hero off of all. This is,
of course I am.
This is what annoys me is that, like, again, you're skating through life and everyone else is fucking carrying you and you're reaping all the benefits. It's fucking bullshit.
It's amazing.
Even this podcast. This is fucking bullshit.
That's just how it goes, And so I'm the president. So we all get up after. There's more to the story, and they're still peppering this guy. Like the meeting's over, and now I've got everybody fired up. I mean, they're literally throwing jabs left and right at this guy. He was even standing weird, like he had a pee or poop or something. Like he was so nervous. So, president, I stepped in. I said, all right, let's let it go. We'll we'll get our notes together, let him go home to get some dinner. And he's like, oh, thank God. Like, he didn't know what to do. So I asked the one lady who I saw across the room, I said, you're not from here. She said, how do you know? I said, where are you from? She said, Fresno, California. I said, I moved from Sacramento, California to here 3 years ago. She said, well, we moved 2 years ago. So she says, she pulls me like to the side to like whisper something, right? Now, she's a African American woman. I am obviously white. She must like
Careful.
she
Here.
must have just known like no.
Careful
She must
here.
have known I was cool. She must have known I was cool because she pulls me over to the side and says, do you hate living here? And I said, I do. She said, man, it ain't like California. I said, nah, it ain't like California. I said, I grew up in Florida. She said, oh, where? I said, South Florida. She said, man, I'm not trying to sound any type of way, but like the white people here, I was like, I said, look, I tell my kids that all the time. Like, these are not like, I don't even want to do, I can't, like, I'm not like them. They're fucking weird. They're fucking weird people. And she's like, yeah. So, like, we had this bond already. I said, look, I grew up in a melting pot. I have friends of all races, religions, colors, sexes. Like, it didn't matter because we grew up in a melting pot of Florida. I said, in California, there's a fucking melting pot. Here, either a Huckleberry or you're African American. There's literally no in between here. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad. So me and her now are buddies. We became friends. She hugged me and she was like, man, she said, me and you, we're going to get along good. She said, I'm going to be your secretary. I said, oh, all right. So she signed up to be the secretary. And her daughter's on the girls team. So she's like, me and you're going to be cool. She's like, I could tell your vibe. Like, you ain't like these people. I said, no, I'm not from here. Like, I'm not a Huckleberry. Like, I'm not. Like, so, I knew she wasn't because I could tell by the way she was, like, talking and, like, she's like, in California. I was like, no, in California and in Florida, it was schools were run different. Basketball was run different. Like, it was a different story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't the same shit. So, she got it. She got it.
It's handed off from like,
Right.
things keep running and it's just handed off from parent to parent. It's not like you got to start something from fresh and need to call in an old man with notebooks.
Yeah.
You and her are like the outsiders invading WCW.
Right, we are. Me and her. It's like Hall and Nash coming in. Yeah.
Come in, we're taking over.
We're gonna be too sweet and all the way to the games. Yeah. So, I got big things here. I honestly, I literally got in my car after, and everybody left. I just sat there rubbing my head, going, "What the fuck did I get myself into?"
Yep.
Thank God my dad is who my dad is, because I would be fucked.
One day, you're not gonna be able to fake your way through something. I don't know when that day is gonna come, but I'm praying for it.
This
You deserve it more than
I
anyone.
may have met my match. Thank God Nick's a senior and it's only 1 year. I hope, though, that it doesn't go to the year and then they're like, hey, because they said it's only till November, then there's going to be a vote. So, like, do I run in November? Or, I have to start thinking about it. I got to start campaigning. Like these next couple months is it's like my tryout.
I don't think you need to campaign. Your record will speak for itself. Listen, have you told Nick the Dick that you're president of the Booster Club yet?
Well, he kept texting me, and I said, wait till I get home. So I came in, and he came down the stairs, and he's like, what happened? I said, you're now looking at the president of the Booster Club. He went, oh, shit. He was not
She's been like, I'm going to raise so much hell.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, my God. He's like, how the hell did they make you, like, out of all the people?
You're like, I showed
vocal.
up. I showed up.
Right. I showed up, right? I was the only one, right? How'd you become president? There was only 2 people there. The other person didn't want it. So, So he was like, oh, my God. So he doesn't know how to take it. He went literally, he started to go up the stairs. He stopped. He goes, well, who else? I said, well, actually, Emma's mom is going to be my co-president. And he's like, oh. I said, what's wrong with her? she's just as outspoken as you. But for the girls, I said that's why she's my co-president. Uh, and Emma is everybody's trying to tell Nick, oh, you should date Emma, and I was like, she's literally like gonna be she's a star, like, and she's wins like all the smart awards too. I was like, you may want to latch on to that one, pal. So yeah, I was like, you get her in because we're president and co-president.
Listen,
so.
he'd probably ruin her life and get her pregnant.
You know what? You're probably right. So let's not go that route.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I am now the president, but I don't know what I got myself into. Nick is not. So then my brother calls me because my dad called my brother. He's like, no fucking way. I'm like, what? He's like,
I'm tracking.
No
this is making sense why we had to do the podcast so late now. You had to.
So he's going. My brother's
go
going,
through your
no
Rolodex.
Way. He's like, I said, what? He said, Dad called me. You're not really the president. I said, yeah. He's like, this is unbelievable. He goes, this could go either really good or really, really bad. But either way, I'm here for it. Like, he's so pumped. He's like, it's gonna be a shit show. I was like, oh, no, all right. He's like, Dad said he's got the book already out. I said, I just got off the phone with him. He went and got the book out to take it out already, to start looking, to go through his notes, to get ready for when I see him in 2 weeks. Yeah. So, Pops is ready. He's ready to go.
Yeah,
my side booker.
He should publish that into a book, like a book that you sell on
he should.
Amazon. I bet you'd make some money.
He should. I'm gonna tell him that. Yeah.
Especially since every year or two you're gonna have a fresh crop of people that need to know how to run a booster club.
Yeah. Right. And he's the man of that. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, now I have a feeling somebody's going to bring it up next week and be like, so when are we doing that wrestling show? I'm like, oh, fuck, this is not going to go well. I don't even know how to start that anymore. I'm going to have to hire, like, somebody else to do it all. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue these days. But, yeah, anyway, so that's my story. I'm now the president. Add that to my resume. I'm going to put it on my resume. President. I'm going to put it on my LinkedIn page. Booster Club President.
Oh,
just so everybody knows that I've made it now. It's a new step in my career. New chapter in the book. So, yeah. But that's why it took so long. I had phone calls coming in. Congratulations. People calling to celebrate. Big win. So
you'll be getting some fruit, some flowers and fruit baskets mailed to you.
Yeah. Or they're going to tell the school in a couple of days, and they're going to be like, hey, you're going to be removed. The school said you're not the guy. Like, you can't be the guy. The principal said, no way, not him.
Mike Pence is going to show up to decertify your election.
Yeah, he's going to be like, no. Yeah, so. Yep. So, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's fine. That's enough.
That's it. I couldn't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
Could you just make sure you title it President of the Booster Club? That's what it should be titled, by the way.
Oh, I'm going to call it something. Like El Presidente.
Or I shit my pants.
Well, it might be. It might refer to that too, but we'll see.
Oh, so.
All right, fat fuck. I'm
gonna go order a pizza.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 45 minutes. Your energy's got to be down.
Pop the champagne, order a pizza, and celebrate my presidency.
Jesus Christ! Already mismanaging funds.
Goodbye.
Bye.